Do you struggle with an intense urge to move your legs when you climb into bed at night? Are you constantly kicking your feet and squirming around and having to massage your legs or even get out of bed and stretch just so that you can get to sleep? Well, if so, you may have restless leg syndrome, and this is the video for you because we're about to cover 5 proven strategies that can decrease those uncomfortable and annoying feelings and help you to sleep way better at night. Let's get into this. Strategy number 1, and my personal go-to for restless leg syndrome, is an exercise program. In this study published in the Journal of the American Board of Family Medicine, researchers took a bunch of people with RLS and they measured the impact that exercise had on their symptoms and quality of life over time. Now, the exercise program used in this study had 2 parts. There was a cardiovascular component, which consisted of walking on a treadmill for 30 minutes, and there was a strength training component, which consisted of 6 lower body strength training exercises performed for 2 sets and 8 to 12 repetitions each. The exercises used were the leg press, leg extension, leg curl, hip add and abduction, and calf raises. All of these exercises and the walking on the treadmill were performed just 3 times per week. And what these researchers found after just 6 weeks was nearly a 40% reduction in these people's symptoms. Not bad at all for just 18 sessions of exercise. Strategy number 2 involves supplementation with a pair of specific nutrients, and those are magnesium and vitamin B6. In this 2022 study published in the journal BMC Complementary Medicine and Therapies, researchers took 75 people with restless leg syndrome and they split them up into 3 groups. Group number 1 received 40 milligrams of vitamin B6 per day. Group number 2 received 250 milligrams of magnesium oxide per day, and group number 3 was the control. They received a placebo. What these researchers found after 2 months of supplementation was that the group that was taking vitamin B6 had a 45% reduction in the symptoms associated with RLS. And at the same time, their sleep quality improved by 62%. And in the group taking magnesium, the results were even more impressive. That group had nearly a 50% reduction in the symptoms associated with RLS, and at the same time, they had a 68% improvement in sleep quality in just 8 weeks. The third strategy for restless leg syndrome is light therapy, and this is an option that most people have never even considered. But light therapy does fill a great little niche for anyone out there who's not interested in using prescription drugs to manage their symptoms, and also for people who are physically limited and unable to exercise. So take a look at this randomized controlled clinical trial that was published in the journal Physiotherapy Theory and Practice. These researchers took a bunch of people with RLS and they split them up into 2 groups. There was a treatment group and a control group. The treatment group received 3 30-minute near-infrared light therapy sessions per week for 4 weeks. And what these researchers found was that these people's symptoms steadily decreased as the weeks went by. At the end of 4 weeks, there was a significant reduction in the symptoms associated with restless leg syndrome. And the really cool part about this study was that these people maintained those improvements 4 weeks after the treatment finished. The 4th strategy is an ounce of prevention. Now, there are 3 substances that are known to bring on and make the symptoms associated with RLS significantly worse. And those are alcohol, caffeine, and nicotine. And one of the best things that you can do to help decrease those annoying urges and sleep better at night is to cut those 3 things out altogether. Now, I know it's scary, but just try it for 4 weeks and see what happens. The 5th strategy is to check your iron. This meta-analysis published in 2019 looked at the results from 10 different clinical trials. And these researchers found that iron therapy was associated with a significant reduction in the symptoms associated with restless leg syndrome. But the key here is making sure that you're deficient in the first place. And for that, you need a couple of different tests. The first is serum transferrin saturation, and the second is serum ferritin. Now, between those 2 tests, you'll be able to determine not only how much iron is floating around in your bloodstream, but how much is stored inside of your tissues. And if it's indicated, you can proceed with iron therapy, but you should do so only under the guidance of a qualified healthcare practitioner. To find out more about the many benefits and applications of light therapy, click the link in the upper right-hand corner of your screen. If you want to read more about any of the studies that I quoted in this video, I'll put links for all of those in the description down below. Beyond that, I just want to thank you so much for watching. Make sure to hit that thumbs up button before you head out of here. And if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel. That way you'll be updated every time a new video comes out. That's all for now. See you next time.